Hello, Scrappy Peeps! Welcome to the April A Cherry on Top YouTube Hop. The theme this month is spring, and so I went with this Easter theme layout created using new goodies from CP Crepe Paper, the Gingham Garden collection. So I have two black and white photos of our cat Luna. This is the gray one, if you happen to know my cats, who is sitting on our table, yes, our kitchen table, by the Easter bunny, big plastic Easter bunny, and that's about as Easter as it gets for her. So I am working with the 6x8 paper pad as well as the 200-piece papery pack. And so there's lots of these sort of much thinner paper pieces as well as some stickers. And what you need to know about these stickers is they're basically like vellum. They are see-through. So a fair number of these stickers I am actually going to back with just white cardstock in order to give them a little bit more oomph. I also have the stamp set, and so I am going to use that to just add a little bit of floral. Please know that these are acrylic stamps. They don't stamp, I'm going to just say they don't stamp as well. They do stamp, they just don't stamp as well. You have to, they're not quite as reliable as other stamps. So this is a piece that I have doubled over. I folded in half to create that 3x4 size. And I love the look of that thickness that it is given with the journaling for a 3x4 card there with just a little bit more depth to it because it is folded together and then held, somewhat held in place by that twine there that kind of gives it, adds to that vintage sort of old letter, old worldy kind of look to it. So this is pretty much a grid-based layout. That seems to be my jam lately, and it's just kind of the way I'm going to go. I'm not going to fight it. It works for me, and I am always pleased with the results that I get from this. So I am looking for a color, a pink that isn't too pink, and then I will look for a blue, I think, that isn't too blue. So where am I going to stamp this? I know I want to use it. I like it there. Unfortunately, you can see it doesn't stamp very well. So I am going to go ahead and proceed and then come back to that. And in the meantime, I'm mulling over, am I going to stamp this on vellum and then cut it out and put it on top, or what am I going to do? So I stamp it in black because I have the black in the black and white photos, and this just pulls a little bit more color to it. And then after cleaning the stamp off, I realized, oh, I could stamp gold over that pink and that might pull it together nicely because the gold is somewhat like the yellow that's in the collection. So much nicer in the way that it pulls that together. And so you can see we've got that grid there of 3x4s, basically 2 pictures and then 4 other elements. So you saw from the intro of the video that I have, with the 6x8 paper pad, cut out these bunnies. I will try and link you to the digital file if I can. I believe they're from the Silhouette store. I can't swear by it. But I'll try and link you in the box down below. So I've got the bulk of the layout here. Now it's just a matter of fine tuning and getting some of those finer details onto the layout. So I have pre-sorted all of the elements because there are 200 elements. Some of them are papers and some of them are labels. And so I've pre-sorted, and so you can see they were in those little baggies. And so I was going through those to see what I wanted to add to the page. So I did see in the pattern papers, I was reminded that there are tags, and while I really love in this bottom center there, that is a piece, it's a little file folder from the 49th and Market eucalyptus envelope bits. I like that, but I really wanted, isn't that tag perfect in there? So just a little shot of that sort of peachy pink and another layer. I am all about layers, and that's what I'm doing here, is adding a few more layers. So it's kind of like a photo corner behind that photo there, and it helps break up the grid of the layout by putting a couple of things that are outside of that expected 3x4 there. Off camera, I will take one of the striped papers and I will put that on the right hand side of that bottom right photo. There are a couple of things that I do off camera because it's me, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm working on the bottom here. I want to have a little bit to just close up that white space. You know, I like the white space, but I wanted to have a trio of bunnies for that visual triangle, and I needed to ground them somehow. And so I've got these strips of what end up being washi, like I said, right? They're super see-through. And I like the bunnies against the white because then you can see their eyes and their nose a little bit better, which are harder to see in the other bunnies. So see, some of them I just go ahead and adhere right down, but some of those see-through pieces, they really need that backing behind them as well if I don't back them on white cardstock. I've got to be honest with you and tell you it took me a while to figure out that they were actually stickers and basically on washi paper. So I am going to distress edge ink some of these bunnies. It really doesn't make a big difference. It's very, very subtle. In fact, you can't really tell, I don't think, unless you look at the big yellow bunny and the bottom left-hand side. But I'm going to try and give them just a little bit more texture. I thought maybe I might distress them, but that gets to be more messy than my little brain can handle at this point in time. So I do a lot of popping up of some of these bunnies, and it does take a little while cutting all of the foam and then pulling the backing off. And I did try and skip over that for the in order to shorten the length of the video a little bit, spare you the agony of watching that, especially given that there are 3, 4, 5, 7 bunnies that I put down. So a little bit of texture just and dimension by raising the bunnies up. I am also going to use some of the chipboard that comes with this collection, and that is very, very thick chipboard, thicker than normal chipboard, I'd say, probably about right for crepe paper. But so that is also going to provide some texture and movement to the page as well there. So this is where I pull the chipboard out, and you will see me sticking them down as they are, but it's funny, I store them vertically until I take my photographs, and they literally all fell off. And so I will off camera get some liquid adhesive, my Ultra Bond from Thermoweb, and I will use that to keep them adhered to the page. Or stuck to the page so that they are less likely to fall off when I actually bother putting them into page protectors. Because, I still haven't done that. So I shifted the placement of these bunnies because I wanted to put that chipboard, and I didn't want to set it on top of something that was already raised with the double-sided foam there. So trying to intersperse the colors so that there isn't all yellow in one place and there isn't all pink in one place, and that there's an equal amount of motion and dimension spread across the page. So now I'm going to go through the sticker book and see what it is that works again for me there. So you could see how see-through that was, and it wasn't going to work. It was literally going to be tone on tone and just get lost in that eucalyptus envelope there. So I've got it on white, and I like the little white border around it, kind of draws your attention a little bit better to it, and just fold that around there. So this is a blog hop. It's not a blog hop. This is a YouTube hop for a cherry on top. And there is a $15 gift card for one random participant. So be sure to leave a comment. That's how you become eligible. And the more comments you leave on the different creators, the more chances you have of winning the prize. So be sure to look at the list down below and see what the other gals have created this month with using spring as their inspiration for the hop. If you have any questions about the product or my design and my design decisions, please don't hesitate to leave those in the box down below. I like to talk about design principles as I'm designing, because you can see what it is that I'm doing and don't need to I think people want to know the why. When people are creating, I want to know the why. I can see what you're doing and don't need you to tell me that. It's easier for me to place letters sideways, and so that's why that page was sideways. So thank you, my friends, for joining me today. If you're new, I would love to have you join me and subscribe. Enjoy the close-ups. Thanks for stopping in today. I hope you're doing well. Come back again soon. Take care.